Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your sometimes solemn stork. And even though solemn doesn't have to do with being tired, sometimes, you get quiet, you get stoic, you get whatever you want to call it. And that's what I'm going to go with. Plus, it starts with the letter S, and that's where I was going. So, it is what it is.
Got you.
So,
how are you doing?
I'm okay, actually. So, I'm back to work. Spring break is officially over. So, as sad as that makes me, because it was definitely like a chill break, but, a much needed one. I feel like we only got a little bit of time left to get into the end of the school year, and I'm trying not to let anybody steal my joy at work. So, all things considered, I can't complain. How about you?
It's cool. Nothing special.
Okay, well, that's always fair. No news is good news, right?
I suppose.
Okay. So, welcome to another episode of Lovers Quarrel. As always, if this is your first time listening, thank you for checking us out, and we hope you enjoy. If this is your second or more times listening to us, thank you for coming back and listening to us again. We always appreciate you all for that. So let's just jump right into it. So, of course, we can get on my elevator that TJ tries to slander, or we can get on TJ's bougie fake elevator. Who would like to go first?
You can go first. You can come on the Maybach of elevators.
Okay, I suppose. Well, I'm going up, so.
Just pressing the button.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, sir. My up is, simple, but I can appreciate it. Y'all, my hair is growing, and it might look a little crazy right now as I'm recording this, but I peeped that the length is coming in, and I'm appreciative of it because I cut my hair a little over like a year and a half ago, like really tried to like get all of the heat damaged parts out, and I was a little worried there for a while because it was kind of, I'm still living in a bush, and I'm still in the bush, frame of things. But I definitely really noticed that I had some length going on, and I'm very excited about it. And other people noticed as well. So, when other people start to notice, that means there's really something going on. And I kind of already touched on it, but the countdown to summer is on. And another, wrapping up another school year. And I'm working this summer, and I went to my first training for my new job over the summer, and all things considered, I thought that the information I got was really dope. So I was kind of, being like teacher nerd, and I was excited about what I was learning. So all those things kind of got me in a good spot.
What about it had you?
Kind of like the conversation that that we had about like what, makes for effective, kind of like what makes for effective instruction, or like the type of ineffective instruction that kids in America are receiving, and like what we can do to change it and push it. And basically they were saying that, that there's this myth that if you go to school and you do what's asked of you, like you do the assignments asked of you, that all of these doors will automatically open up to you and you have all these opportunities, when that's not really the case. Because in a lot of settings, and not to say it's not saying it's all teachers' fault, but like a lot of kids aren't getting work that is in like a line with like their grade level. And so if you're in 5th grade but you're getting 3rd grade work, are you really being challenged? Are you really showing mastery? And the thing is too, is like, even if kids are below grade level individually, we want to make sure that like they're still being challenged and pushed to kind of get them to where they need to be. So, I kind of just nerded out a little bit with that type of data and information, because I'm always trying to be a better teacher, and I'm going to be teaching new teachers this summer. So, I'm excited for it. So, sorry, I'll step off my education soapbox now. But that's me. And that is why my elevator, regardless of whose elevator I'm on, is going up. And with that, I yield. How about you?
I'll go up too.
Going up.
Got to celebrate our daughter's party, even though it was, 2 weeks late.
Mm-hmm.
But just to kind of see her like in the swimming pool and losing her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people came, like, our friends who don't have children, but they came and they like stayed the whole time. And, it feels good to just know how loved you are, how appreciated you are, and, the support you get from others. So
definitely.
Had my first water scare.
Tatum, definitely.
Because she jumped in the water.
Like a crazy person.
And,
no fear.
The lifeguard had to, like, grab her by her arm. And then when they pulled out, she was just, like, laughing. So she's out of control. But, I think it's dope that she, like, really likes the water. And tie it all in. It feels good to be able to offer my daughter experiences that I had earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's always going to know how to swim.
Definitely.
And, she's always going to know, she's always going to grow up in a house. So, it's exciting and I'm appreciative that I'm able to experience those things earlier for her,
Mm-hmm.
The American dream is always to be better than your parents. Mm-hmm. So, I hope to be able to achieve that for my children.
I agree. I think that's really dope. And I really feel like it was a great party. And like the love was felt. And the fact that we had all of that support. And even with Tatum, fearless Hurricane Tatum jumping in the water, like it was just really, really dope. And it was a great experience for all of us. And I will say this, one of my most favorite parts was the fact that like all we had to do was show up. We didn't have to set up. We didn't have to clean up. They had the decorations and the cupcakes and the pizza and everything, the juice, and they had everything set up. So definitely will be the move for several birthdays to come, I'm sure, because that was a lot less stress on us. So ain't mad at that either. But with that being said, are you getting off the elevator now, sir?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, as always, it is now time for our relationship tip of the week, where I help make you a better partner, relative, friend, and TJ just, gives you some...
Give you advice.
You know,
I don't have to fluff it all up like Dani. I don't have to be shady like her.
Is it really shade?
We're both
is it shade?
Both giving advice, I'm getting you from point A to B, and she's taking you from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth.
I'm giving you layers, that's all. Well, are you going first, or am I going first again?
No, the layers. Let's get the layers.
Okay, I'm giving you layers, like an onion. Onions have layers. Parfait has layers. Where's that from?
I have no idea.
It's from Shrek. You don't remember?
No.
Oh, gosh, he's so whack. All right, so my relationship tip this week, which, again, can be applicable to not only, like, romantic relationships, but friendships, family relationships as well, is don't gaslight your partner unless you want to risk burning down the house. And you could take partner and put relative, friend, whatever. Gaslighting is like a term that I feel like has been, like, I've used it on the show before, and I know that it's been like, it's a common term that's kind of been tossed around more recently. But I have like the definition here in case anyone like couldn't quite put their finger on what it is. And to gaslight means to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. So it's those people, gaslighters are those people who will say things to you to make you feel like it's all in your head. Like, they make you second guess yourself, and they make you feel like your logic doesn't equate or doesn't add up. They will like try to tell you that, like, if you're upset about something, oh, why are you taking, it's not that serious. Like, let it go. Why are you bringing this up? This is old. You're overreacting. You know, you're the only person that does this, that, and the other. So all of these things to make you feel like, to make a person feel like they are wrong for how they feel, or they're different for how they feel. And I feel like...
But can someone make you feel that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that someone can make you feel that way, and I think the fact that
you can allow someone to make you feel some type of way. You have control over... most people have some type of control over how people's words impact them. But I feel like that, like, let's not take away from the fact that, like, a person who's a gaslighter, whether or not necessarily that gaslighting works on another person, that's still a problem. Like, if person A was to say to person B, like, you're too sensitive, or you're always worked up about something, and person B is like, yeah, I am sensitive, what about it? Like, they're not falling for the gaslighting, but they're still, that person A is still trying to gaslight them, still trying to manipulate them psychologically. So even if one person isn't impacted by it and the next person is, it still doesn't make what that first person, that gaslighter, what they're doing right. So saying that all to say, of course, is when you're in these relationships, like, you don't want to be that person. Like, and like I feel like we all succumb to that sometimes, where we press somebody about their logic, or like tell them like, oh, you're crazy to feel that way, and that is, diminishing their opinions and their feelings towards something. And when you do that, like, that sends people up a fucking wall. And so as far as like driving them nuts, so be careful with that, and making sure that you're not being the gaslighter in your relationship, whatever type of relationship that is. And also make sure that you can see when you're being gaslit, so that way you can try to navigate those waters better. And or if a person does it all the time and it's not healthy, maybe you need to put some distance between y'all. But that is my relationship tip of the week. Are you finished layering?
I am. Comprehensive, well-rounded relationship tip. And you, my good sir?
Real simple, like I always am. I just want to say that you should be mindful of others' time. So if you have reservations, or you're supposed to do something at a certain time, but then you like are late, or you do something else before you're supposed to do whatever. Like, just be mindful of people's time. Real simple.
That is a good tip. So.
Appreciate it.
You are very welcome. And now, do we have some wonderful vocabulary?
Always trying.
Okay, enlighten us.
The word of the week is going to be laudatory. Laudatory is of speech or writing expressing praise and commendation. Laudatory.
Well, it makes sense, because to laud someone is to like praise them. Think about the word applaud, because like when somebody does something good, you clap for them, you applaud them. So, excellent word. And I am going, and that was me being laudatory of you, because I was paying you a compliment because you did a good job.
Look at you.
you got to put it into your practice. You got to bring it in so that way it becomes a part of your vocabulary. That's all it takes. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you use laudatory sometime this weekend after you hear this episode. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little break and hear a word from our sponsors.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gainz Load and Lock grips by Gainz Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to GainSportsGear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.
And you can continue to embrace the process by going to Gainz Sports Gear, that's Gainz, sportsgear.com, and buying whatever your heart's desire is. But make sure you enter the code LOVERS10 to get 10% off your first order. And now, back to the show. All right, y'all. So we are back, and now it is time for a listener letter.
Before we do that, I wanted to give an update.
Oh, okay.
So on episode 35, we had Kayla on. Episode You Don't Have to Understand, in which we was speaking with her as she began the process of
Female to male transition.
Yeah, thank you. So Kayla has had top surgery 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So she's continuing her transition, and she did everything to get approved.
Congratulations, Kayla.
So,
and I hope you have a very swift and speedy recovery.
yeah, she says it takes like 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So,
oof. Well, any surgery can be, for whatever reason, can be a lot and take a lot out of you. So just rest up, take care of yourself, and congrats on, making another stride towards, having
happiness.
Your happiness and having your image of yourself match what you know it truly to be. So shout out to Kayla.
Shout out to Kayla.
And with that, are we ready for our listener letter? Husband of mine?
I like to call it a lover letter, but
a lover letter.
one day you'll love him.
First of all, I do love them. I just
them.
can't call them lovers. It just doesn't. You say lover like that. That's what you want to do.
No.
Okay, so just lover. See, it doesn't. It just doesn't flow right with me.
Whatever. Shout
Okay.
out to my lovers.
Okay. All right. So this lover wrote in, and he would like to remain anonymous, but he said, Dani and TJ, I don't understand why, but I can't seem to stay faithful, but I want a relationship. Okay, crickets. I envy couples that can stay together forever and get married, but I just can't be with one woman. I tell the women I date that in the beginning, and I'm hoping that they just enjoy the sex for a while and leave, but they always want me to change and commit, and I just simply can't. What should I do to stay with one woman? Hashtag, it ain't my fault.
This is very interesting. I would say...
Go ahead. Yeah, you take this one.
You need to figure out why you can't stay faithful.
I was thinking to seek therapy to figure that out too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We need to figure out what about commitment worries you, or, why do you believe that you have to be with multiple women to be happy?
Mm-hmm. And are you even happy? Because you didn't say that you were like happy in this. If you're envious of couples, like how are these two things like reconciling?
Yeah, so I would figure that out. You do let them know upfront what your intentions are. So that's always good, I say, because
Fair,
they're giving them
yeah.
the opportunity to know what they're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you need to find someone who matches your
energy.
Yeah. Someone who doesn't mind that you sleep with other people.
A friend with benefits, per se.
You know, he's looking for a relationship, so you can't. Friends with benefits.
I mean, he's saying that he wants to enjoy this. He says he hopes that they enjoy the sex for a while and then they leave. Like, it's like he's kind of like, it's almost like he's kind of like pimping himself out.
But
like,
I kind of took that as like he's talking about like the other women, like not the main one.
So, you know, I took it as, I like you. We like, you like me. We sleep together for a while, but then after a while, like you move on and then I move on to the next because I don't want you to, you know, get attached to me.
Yeah. I mean, so if we're saying that, then I would find someone, like Danny said, friends with benefits, open relationship.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you really do need to get to like the root of it and like, are you really, because what is it about commitment or monogamy that frightens you so bad that you are hoping that your people that you're, or women that you're intimate with will move on from you? What is like the root cause of that? And then also too, like to say that you're envious of couples who are in long-term relationships or who get married, but you make no strides to be like that. Is it really that, is that something that you really want? Is that something that you're truly envious of? Or maybe like you're envious of the idea of like soulmates or one true loves or longevity and things like that. You didn't say in here how old you are. So, I mean, maybe you're at a time in your life where settling down isn't the priority at that point. And, you know, this is just your time to kind of get things out your system. But if, regardless of how old you are or anything like that, you know, as long as you're being safe, then, you know, continue to do you. But at the same time, you know, continue to be upfront with women that you're dating about your expectations. But also, you need to start, I think, like doing the work and the homework to figure out why it is that you seem to actively avoid relationships. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, there's going to be people who have like stretches of being single and dating, and then there's stretches where you're in a relationship and it kind of comes and goes until hopefully you might find that person you want to spend your life with. But to actively avoid it, but then still kind of envy the other side of the things, that doesn't really add up to me. So that's my 8 cents, since I was a little long-winded instead of my 2, but hopefully that helps.
Yeah, he was putting your layers in there. So, anonymous guy, I do hope that we were of some assistance to you and gave you some valuable options for you to move forward.
Agreed. Well, now that that is all done and we've hopefully solved yet another problem, it is now time for what we all come here for, which is our quarrel. And this week's quarrel, which has been something that's kind of been on my radar for some time, is these anti-vaxxer people. So I was looking at Huffington Post earlier today, and it was saying that the U.S. is dealing with the most measles cases since the disease was contained in 2000. So the most measles cases in almost 2 decades, right? It says there's been 681 measles cases so far this year across 22 states, according to a recent analysis. So my debate topic is about these anti-vaxxer parents and their children. Should parents go to jail for not vaccinating their children, basically? Because I have a lot of thoughts on it, but I thought that it'd be something for us to talk about because it's a tricky situation.
So are we saying that in the other countries they are getting vaccinations?
It depends on the country. Some countries have more vaccine. Well, I don't say more vaccines, but some countries are comparable to the number of vaccines that we get in the U.S. Other countries don't have as many vaccinations. No.
So how is it possible that in our country, where we allow them to choose, we have the most measles, but there's other countries that do not get the vaccination and they're not affected? Or as...
I mean, I think, well, let me say this. It's not that there's like, so like parents are choosing, but it's not really a choice in the U.S. It's that they're opting out of it. But like, it's basically rich white people, you know, got in their heads that, you know, with misinformation that like too many vaccines are bad for kids, or vaccines are going to cause autism in children. And
how do you know it's rich white people?
Because in order for these children to still be able to like go to school and things like that, I'm kind of grouping people together a little bit, but
you are.
But they would have to, like at public schools, you have to have your vaccines. Like they will not enroll your child. They will not let your child into school, like come to school, if they don't have their vaccinations. So the only option is homeschooling or private schools. So these are people who can afford to send their kids to private schools, or to send their children, or to keep their children at home and teach them themselves and homeschool them. But ultimately, all I'm trying to say is this, is like, there is this movement of people who think that vaccines aren't good, and then in turn are exposing other people and children to these diseases that otherwise in the last 20, 30, 50 years have been not an issue or not problematic, have now caused this like spike in these diseases that have basically been eradicated before this. And for me, I feel like if you expose me or my child or anybody I care about to a disease that could have been preventable had you gotten a vaccine, then yeah, you should have some type of like consequence for it. So if that's a little bit of jail time, why not? If it's a fine, yep, pay it, because you are putting other people at risk because of your misinformation and your misguided decision making. What do you think?
I think if it's causing people to get sick, then that's a problem. Like if you're causing outbreaks, then there should be a charge to it. I don't really understand why they don't want their children to be vaccinated. And I think that's something, you know, I would have to understand it. But once you kind of hear that kids are getting sick, especially with me having a younger child, like I don't want my child getting sick because you're being irresponsible.
Yeah. And like, even if you have the vaccine, like you can still get it. Like it's really highly contagious. So like that's the problem. Do you think that like people, like if people are anti-vaccination, like what would you say, just playing devil's advocate, if they had to put, they said everybody lives in this little island or something like that, like all the unvaccinated people have to like live in this area so that way they can only like self-contaminate. Like would you support something like that?
Not if it's something that's going to be like inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be in cages or something. No, but if it was a small town or a place where only these people live because of their choices, and it was like still livable, I don't see a problem with it.
So I guess, I don't know. I mean, I only asked that because I just thought, like, you know, sometimes people are like, if you feel so strongly about that, then, you know, don't contaminate everybody else, go somewhere else. But like you said, like if it wasn't, that still sounds like it has a recipe for being like inhumane or something like that. But I really do feel like you expose somebody, you should go to jail, or you should have some type of fine or some type of consequence, because it's just not okay. Because it's been proven time and time again that like vaccines don't cause autism. Vaccine doesn't cause learning disabilities or anything like that.
Yeah, but we live in a world where a lot of people are conspiracy theorists, and now because everyone has the internet, everybody's like smarter and doctors and everything else. So, you know, some people don't believe in that. Some people don't believe that the information that has been proven is correct, you know. And then there's someone who's like, they're doing that so they can get rid of the black people or whatever else they got to say, and you know.
Oh, kind of like the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah,
like situation.
I'm just saying, like,
experiment.
people are. There's always so many theories about any and everything, and it's just like I just want to live life. I don't want to have to worry, like, think, like, is this what's going to happen? And some people could say that's ignorant, but like, we only get one life to live. I don't want to have to live my life questioning everything.
I kind of get what you're saying. I think, like, you know, you have to be abreast of, like, certain things that are going on just to kind of, like, be vigilant and whatever. But at the same time, sometimes, like, overexposure can be, like, frustrating and a bad thing, too. I just feel like you said, like, you know, people think that the experts on everything just because they could do a couple of quick Googles and stuff like that. And, like, that's not the case. And people can put anything on the internet. They can say whatever they want if on a website or a blog or whatever, and somebody will take it as gospel truth when it's the furthest thing from it. But ultimately, like, I think it comes back to, like, you have to be discerning. Like, look and see where the damn website link is. Is it clickbait or is it an actual real site? And get information. But I just feel like the misinformation to the running the risk of, like, exposing people to this, like, horrible disease. Like, I read somewhere that somebody, like, fell into a coma recently that had gotten exposed and contracted the measles, and nobody has time for that shit. Like no, like, you gonna bring, what's next? The plague? Y'all gonna bring that back too? But I don't know. Shit's whack. There needs to be consequences. Those parents are dumb, and that's all I have to say about that, because I know I've said a lot with all of my layers.
True. So Tatum got all her vaccinations, right?
Correct. She got, when she went to her second 2-year physical, she got another vaccine. So she's up to date on everything. Because had she not been, she would not be able to go to daycare.
Got you.
So, baby girl is straight.
Excellent. In the words of my guy, Burns, Mr. Burns.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, this will be our shortest episode ever.
Efficiency, that's all. We were...
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't really have nothing to talk about.
It happens. Listen.
So,
if we do this every week like we normally do, like, we might have something where we're, like, they're more like mini episodes. But I always feel like it's okay. Like,
I always just feel like, I don't know.
You want to, like...
I want to make sure that our lovers are getting...
the full scope.
Getting their listen worth. You know what I mean?
I think so. But I think that they'll understand that, like, if we were a little low on topics for 1 week, that they'll be okay too. I think they've been rocking with us a little long enough to support us, because we've been through worse than a short episode.
I think it's because we're recording on a Wednesday
and not like
we typically record on a Thursday, but you know, we're supposed to be going to the movies.
Oh, yeah, because we're not missing Avengers.
So it's kind of like we had to record earlier because it's not, and Dani has training. So, you know, listen, I apologize. I take this serious, and, you know, I'm sorry. I feel like I cheated you, so.
As am I, but we hope that you will forgive us, and that you will be, you know, and that you understand. And I still think that, you know, we gave people what they wanted. We just gave them to them a little quick and dirty. That's all.
Quick and dirty.
Silver linings.
So with that, thank you for listening to yet another episode of Lovers Quarrel. You can follow us on IG at Lovers Quarrel Show. You can follow us on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7. You can email us at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. Please send your emails, your complaints, your compliments,
dislikes,
all that.
feedback, everything.
We appreciate it all.
Like, share, follow, tag, repost, all that jazz. Do it all so we can reach more people and keep bringing you this great content. So thank you as always for listening to us. And I'm your girl, Dani.
And I'm your guy, TJ.
And as always, we fuss.
We fight.
But we love. Bye.
Bye.
Want to be like me so bad.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.